Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Shay Explores Daily, and today we've got another video. I'm back in Felixstowe on the coast of Suffolk, and I'm in the famous Landguard Fort. So we're going to have a little look around today, see what's here and so on. In the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let's have a look now. Thank you very much. Let's go. So, a little bit of history about this place. This location, Landguard Fort, is one of two locations which overlook all traffic going in and out of the River Orwell, with the other one being the Harwich Redoubt Fort, which is across the river, which I looked at in my Harwich video. So this has been around since the era of Henry VIII, I believe the 1500s. Henry VIII at the time had a massive coastal plan for Britain, which included having forts and lookout points all around the island. And this place here has gone through a lot of transformation as time's gone on. In here you've got a shower room which was used by British soldiers all through World War II. Obviously it's nothing glamorous, but as you can see it signifies a sacrifice is made. You have to remember guys that in Britain up until about maybe 100 years ago, having a bath was seen as a luxury, especially a bath with warm running water as well. So for the soldiers it was absolutely a revolution at that point in time to actually have this. So I'm standing here in one of the mining rooms, and behind me you can see this board which explains the reason for this room. So during ancient times, and obviously times in the last couple of centuries, mining rooms were placed in coastal defense locations to pretty much protect against the enemy. Should the enemy have invaded, the mines would have gone off and would have obviously, you know, caused a lot of casualties. But this board here explains what this room was and how it worked. So this room is called the cartridge room, where they used to originally hold, I think, huge amounts of barrels of gunpowder, I believe, as you can see here. Although you can't see it, this is a Bofors 40mm gun, one of the biggest and most successful of its time, used, I believe, up until as late as the Falklands War of the early 80s. This room that I'm in would have been a restricted area, as it was at the time a ammunition storage room. Anybody who entered this area had to wear these special clothing here, because obviously it was a very highly restricted area and they didn't want any kind of chemicals or anything like that to get onto people's bodies. So I'm standing here in the room where obviously the shells were stored, and it's quite a unique creation, these, because these shells had to be made to be strong enough to pierce armor, but B, be strong enough not to actually splatter and get crushed straight away. So this room here was originally a passageway which was turned into a laboratory and made this bench here so the scientists could test the actual shells and make sure that they're worthy of being used by the guns in battle. So these are decontamination showers that were installed in 1938 to allow soldiers to wash off gas chemicals in the event of obviously an attack. So guys, as you can see, this long corridor goes all the way around, as you would expect a fort to be. Also as well, over the centuries this fort has gone through quite a few renovations, and you can see it sometimes in, I think sometimes the walls and how things have been designed. Certain parts look more newer than others basically. So here you can see this Victorian gun barrel, which was designed in Woolwich Arsenal in London and brought up by ship up the coast to here. This is from the Victorian era, I believe around sort of 1870. So the area I'm standing in now was historically known as a signal station. So during both world wars, first and second, it was in this location where soldiers used to camp out and sleep and control all the traffic going in and out of the harbour from Harwich and Felixstowe, obviously across to the North Sea. So behind me you can see exactly how close we are to the coast and the beach. It's literally, I'm not even joking, you come out the fort and you'll be on the beach within about 10 seconds. So as you can see, the strategic location of this fort was paramount. So this massive gun behind me is a 38-ton gun barrel which takes 17 men, yes 17, 1-7, to actually load and fire, as it's such a huge machine. So behind me is a Georgian fort clock, and back in the Victorian era having a watch was seen as a luxury. So clocks like these were actually viable to let soldiers know about their schedules and let them know when things had to change and so on. This one here has been here for a very long time, and I believe it was been here since 1875. So as you can see Felixstowe port there, and then across in the background, I don't know if you can see it, but that's Harwich. So this fort controlled all traffic along that river there, coming into both towns basically. So up until the creation of the Humber, Landguard was the only real deep sea port or deep sea entrance to Britain. And Henry VIII was worried that invaders from mainland Europe would use Landguard to enter the country and invade through Ipswich and Colchester and then straight down towards London. That's why this fort was built, and that's why this fort is so important. As you can see in this room here, it just gives a panoramic view of the history of Landguard Fort, especially from the Victorian era up until the present day. So guys, this room that I'm in looks like some kind of classroom, I think, where soldiers used to, I don't know, take notes of battle or anything like that. I'm not too sure. As you can see. So in the room behind me, you've got the anti-aircraft control room, which in simplified terms, in layman's terms, means pretty much aiming where to shoot the guns at enemy combatants. In that room there, they've got a massive table where they can strategize and plot enemy targets, and also they've got a board there as well, outlining various things on it. Also, there's also a loud audio in there, actually mimicking enemy combatant planes flying as well. It's a really cool room. This room behind me would have been updated to about 1900, so it's roughly between obviously the Victorian era and the First World War. And here you've got a officer's kitchen. Obviously there's no fridge back then, so all of the food and stuff was fitted to the season that they were in, pretty much. So behind me you've got one of the barracks rooms, which is typical of what soldiers during the Second World War would have actually stayed in. It's pretty standard compared to the ones of the officers, but if you look in there you can see pretty much how they slept, how many people to a room, and as you can see as well, you'll see their boots on the bottom of their bed, because they're actually not in, they're actually meant to be doing PE service. So it gives you an idea of exactly the conditions that soldiers actually fought in and lived under during this period. So I'm standing in what is known as the parade bit of the fort. So this area here is where the soldiers would have retreated to should enemy combatants have breached the perimeters and obviously entered. This area here is obviously in the middle, and from here everything is sort of measured by distance basically. That is it guys for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've got many cool videos coming. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Where should I go next? In the meantime, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.